The rifle's barrel shook slightly against Jack Thornton's shoulder as he peered through the swirling snow from his pickup truck. Down in the ravine below, a woman lay sprawled next to her overturned SUV, blood staining the white drifts around her. She had his late wife's face, not exactly. The cheekbones were higher, the lips fuller, but those eyes, damn those eyes, were Sophia's, staring up at him through the blizzard like a ghost demanding justice. He'd been out checking fences on his Nebraska ranch for hours, the storm turning the flatlands into a frozen hell. The Harlan crew had rustled cattle from neighboring farms, and Jack was tracking their tire marks before the snow buried them. But now, watching this stranger struggle to her knees on what looked like a busted leg, something inside him thawed the part he'd kept iced over since Sophia's death 2 years ago. The smart move was to drive on, let the storm handle it like it handled everything fragile in these parts. Jack Thornton knew better than most that digging up the past only led to more graves. But as she locked eyes with him, desperation turning to faint hope, one question burned at his gut. What if some wounds refused to stay scarred? 2 miles from his farmhouse, Jack made his call. He killed the engine and trudged down the slope, boots crunching through the drifts. The woman, maybe late 20s, was clawing toward a cluster of evergreens, her right leg dragging limp. "Easy there," he said, his voice gravelly from too many silent nights. "I'm not here to hurt you." She whipped around, and up close, the resemblance punched him in the chest. But where Sophia had been warm and yielding, this woman's features had a sharpness, like a blade honed by hard times. "Back off," she snapped, digging in her coat for something, a pocket pistol, small but lethal. Her hands trembled, but her gaze held steady. "Lady, you're bleeding out in a foot of snow, and this storm's gonna bury us both before dawn. Shoot me, or let me help your pick." Those eyes, mirrors of Sophia's, scanned him like she was measuring for a coffin. "You're him," she whispered, the words slicing through the wind. "You're Jack Thornton." The name landed like a curse. In these rural counties, it carried baggage mostly bad. Jack's fingers twitched toward his holstered .45. "Who's asking?" "Emma Hayes," she said, voice steady despite the pain. "Sophia's sister." The world went silent, even the howling gale seeming to hold its breath. Sophia had mentioned a sister auntie, a librarian from Chicago, too independent to visit the heartland. "She thinks farm life would dull her edges," Sophia had teased, tracing patterns on his chest in bed. "She doesn't get that edges are what survive out here." But this woman, defiant and bleeding, was all edges. Sophia never. He trailed off. There were 1,000 secrets Sophia had kept, as he'd learned the hard way. "What the hell are you doing out here?" Emma's smile was ice cold. "I came to face my brother-in-law, to ask why he let my sister die." The accusation stung like salt in an open cut, but Jack had felt worse every night, replaying Sophia's blood on that icy highway. "Ma'am, whatever you've heard." "I heard plenty." She tried to rise, gasped as her leg buckled. "Rachel Donovan wrote me. Told me about your secret, how you knew the Harlan crew was hitting that stretch of road, but sent Sophia anyway." Rachel Donovan, a former flame who turned venomous when Jack chose Sophia. But why spin lies now? Heavy flakes started falling thicker, and Jack knew they had minutes before whiteout conditions. "Lady, I don't care what Rachel fed you, but unless you want to prove your point by freezing solid, we gotta move." He reached for her. She swung the pistol at his face. "Don't touch me." The gun wobbled, then dropped as she slumped, face paling from shock and cold. Without a word, he lifted her lighter than Sophia, all wiry strength where his wife had been soft comfort. "I hate you," she murmured against his collar as he carried her to the truck. "Good," Jack replied, breath fogging the air. "Hate keeps you fighting." But as he settled her in the passenger seat, wrapping her in his coat for the drive home, he caught it in her tone, not just rage, but recognition. The same raw longing he saw in his mirror every dawn. And Jack Thornton knew with the certainty of a man who'd already lost his world, that Emma Hayes was about to shatter what remained of his. The farmhouse assaulted Emma like a memory trap. Everything matched Sophia's emails. The fieldstone hearth, the braided rug, the oak table Jack had crafted himself. But what no message captured was Sophia's lingering presence, the quilt she'd sewn by the fire, her favorite mug on the shelf, the faint scent of vanilla candles she'd loved. Jesus, Emma breathed as Jack carried her in. Setting her in the armchair Sophia's spot, she realized with a pang. Firelight flickered across his rugged face, revealing a man far from the villain she'd imagined. Tall and solid from ranch work, with a faded scar along his jaw from some old accident, his blue eyes held a quiet depth, like a man who'd tallied too many defeats. "It's sprained bad, not broken," he said after kneeling to check, his touch gentle but sure. He fetched water, tore bandages from a clean towel, but avoided her eyes. "Because I look like her," she thought. "Because seeing me is like losing her again." "Why'd you let her drive alone?" she demanded as he wrapped her ankle. His hands paused. "Your sister didn't let anyone tell her what to do. Rachel said you knew about the Harlan crew. Said you had a choice." Jack's jaw tightened. "Rachel Donovan's got her own axes to grind." He stood, staring into the flames. "It's more complicated than that." "Complicated? My sister's dead, and you call it complicated?" "Your sister had cancer." The words dropped like stones. Emma's world tilted. Breast cancer, spreading fast those last months. She was heading to Omaha for a specialist, not errands like I told folks. "That's a lie. She'd have told me." She made me swear silence. Wanted to handle it with grace, face it solo. His voice cracked. Even kicked me to the guest room, those final weeks scolding bare, me seeing her frail. Emma's mind raced. Sophia's last email shorter, handwriting steadier than usual. She'd chalked it up to busy farm life. "You're lying." Jack met her gaze, pain raw in his eyes. "I begged her not to go that day. Roads were slick, rumors of the Harlan crew jacking semis. But the doc could only slaughter then. Cancer doesn't wait." He grabbed a tin from the mantel. "Pain meds, chemo remnants." I insisted on driving, her demanded it. But she said, his voice broke. She couldn't stand dying in front of me. Wanted me to remember her strong. The room spun. Outside, the blizzard raged, rattling panes. Her last words, Emma whispered. She said, "Don't let them know about." Then she was gone. Never knew what. Don't let them know about the cancer, Emma realized. Even dying, Sophia protected her pride. "Oh God, what have I done?" But Jack was fixed on a photo Sophia in her wedding gown, radiant. "You look so much like her," he said softly. "Same eyes, same fire when you're mad. But tougher, like you've fought more battles." His tone shifted, making her skin prickly the way he saw her not as kin, but as a woman. "Mr. Thornton, Jack, I am sorry. I needed to blame someone. Grief demands a target. I get it." The air thickened, charged like before a thunderstorm. Emma felt her pulse quicken, saw his breathing deepen. "This is wrong," she whispered. "Yeah," he stepped closer. "It is." But he closed the gap anyway, and Emma didn't retreat. Because amid the guilt and ghosts, something sparked redemption tangled with ruin. The storm trapped them, and as Jack's hand brushed her cheek, Emma knew change was coming. The question, would they survive the fallout? 3 days the blizzard locked them in, and by night 2, Emma grasped why old tales warned of desire as a beast. It lurked in Jack's broad shoulders as he chopped firewood, in the deliberate space he maintained, as if nearness might ignite them. In stolen glances before he'd avert his eyes, panic flashing. "You don't need the couch," she'd said night 1, watching him bundle blankets by the fire. "Yes, I do," he growled. But night 2, with temps plunging and frost-etching windows, survival trumped manners. "You'll freeze," Emma stated, lifting the quilt on Sophia's their bed. "Emma." He loomed in the doorway, in thermals and that tormented look. "Just warmth," she lied. "Just surviving." But as he slid under, a pillow barricade between, they both knew better. His heat radiated. Every brush sent sparks. His scent leather, pine, man dizzied her. Tell me about her, Emma whispered in the dark. When she was happy. He tensed. Why? Because I want her whole, not fragments. You had that. After silence, his voice softened, reverent. She'd hum country tunes while cooking had a voice like honey. Temper like a summer storm, though. Tried teaching me line, dancing once nearly crippled us both. Emma smiled. She emailed about that. Said you moved like a tractor in mud. Did she? Laughter warmed his tone. First she'd heard. They talked till dawn. Sophia's life here, joys they'd shared. Barriers crumbled, fingers grazing over coffee, eyes lingering. On day 3, fixing a loose shutter, it peaked. Emma held the board. Jack leaned close, breath hot on her neck. She turned, inches apart, his blue eyes flecked with gold. Emma, he breathed, name a plea and warning. I know, she said, aware of the ghost, the wrongness. But when his hand cupped her face, thumb grazing her lip, she leaned in. The kiss was wildfire, 2 years pent-up, ache unleashed. Jack kissed like a starving man. Emma matched with shocking fervor. Hands roamed, his in her hair, hers on his chest. He lifted her to the counter, settling between her legs, stars bursting behind her lids. God, Emma, he groaned, lips trailing her neck. I've fought this. Don't stop, she gasped, unbuttoning his shirt, tracing scars. But her eyes caught Sophia's jewelry box on the sill, its etched flower glaring like judgment. No, she shoved him back. We can't. I can't. The moment shattered. Jack staggered, confusion to hurt to clarity as he saw the box. What are we doing? Emma clutched her blouse, shame flooding. I don't know. Silence choked them as the storm eased, sun-piercing clouds. Roads'll clear by evening, Jack said flatly. Yes, I should go. Where? You showed up with nothing. Anywhere but here. After what we almost did was live, Jack said. Sophia wouldn't. Don't presume what my sister wanted. You didn't even spot her dying. He paled, then steeled. You're right. I didn't know her. And I don't know you. But as he turned, as Emma packed, they both knew the lie. 3 days had bared souls, and that intimacy was lethal. Dawn brought more than clear skies. Victor Hale and his crew, pickups idling like predators. Jack heard engines' first tires on gravel, doors slamming the sounds he'd learned in his Army days, keeping him alive through deployments. Company, he muttered, chambering his pistol. Emma, stuffing her bag, froze. What kind? The worst. Through the window, Hale's bulky form emerged, eyes cold as steel. His foreman, Buck Riley, and 5 thugs flanked him, faces from local bars, tied to cattle thefts. Miss Hayes, Hale bellowed, voice oily. If you're inside, come out. Folks are worried about your situation. Emma blanched. In small-town Nebraska, a woman's rep was gold. Whispers could ruin her faster than bankruptcy. Snake, Jack growled. He'd seen this coming. Hale eyeing his water rights for years, now using scandal as leverage. What does he want? Emma hissed. My land. This is his play. Hale checked his watch theatrically. Miss Hayes, a single lady bunking with a man like Thornton? Doesn't look right. Emma stormed to the porch, chin high. Sun caught her hair, making her glow. Mr. Hale, if it's important, say it since you brought backup. Hale's smile curdled. You've been here 3 days, unchaperoned with a questionable type. So, it's improper for a lady like you. My type? A woman caught in a storm who took shelter? Or one who doesn't need your approval? Buck leaned in. Watch it, Missy. Hale runs this county. Runs it? Not owns it. Pity. Jack stifled a grin. Sophia had spark, but Emma was dynamite, fearless, electric. Now listen, Hale reddened. I'm protecting decency. From what? Jack stepped out, hand on his gun. Say it plain, Victor. You want my spread. Don't hide behind her. Your spread? Hale sneered. After letting your wife die now, this? You'll be run out if you're lucky. The jab uncoiled rage in Jack. Careful. You're crossing a line. Am I? What man sends his wife into Harlan territory alone? What man moves on her sister so quick? The man done with your crap, Jack said, voice lethal. The man with nothing to lose. Jack, don't, Emma cut in. He's not worth it. But Hale drew gun halfway out when Jack's shot rang, shattering his hand. Hale howled, weapon flying. Buck reached. Jack's next bullet splintered his truck door. Next one's not wood. Tense standoff. Wind whispering, Hale wheezing. Then hands rose slow. This ain't over. Hale snarled, clutching blood. I'll remember her mouth when you're gone. The threat iced Jack's veins. Emma was marked now. Actually, a calm voice interjected. It is. Heads turned. A rider on horseback from the Trembling older, silver-haired, badge gleaming. Sheriff Harlan Brooks dismounted, joints creaking from years on the force. Sheriff Brooks, Hale stammered. Didn't know you were around. I am now. Brooks eyed Hale's hand. Clean shot. Lucky Thornton aimed to maim his record. He could have ended you. His record? He's a coward who earned the Purple Heart in Afghanistan, Brooks said coolly. Held a position solo against insurgents for his squad. More medals than you've got sense. Emma's eyes widened at Jack. You never said. Didn't matter. Mr. Hale, Brooks continued, I've looked into your dealings. Families losing land suspiciously. Explain. Hale mounted up, face thunderous. This isn't over. It is. Clear out by tomorrow or face charges. Hale's crew retreated, leaving dust and defeat. Well, Brooks said, pocketing his watch. Time for coffee and a chat about moving forward. The letter hid in Sophia's jewelry box under loose velvet. Emma found it hours after Brooks left, promising Hale's empire crumbled. Her hands trembled unfolding Sophia's script. Jack lingered in the door, bags packed he'd planned to vanish, freeing Emma from a shadow. But now tears streaked her face. What does it say? He asked softly. Emma read, voice breaking. Dearest Emma, if this finds you, I'm gone, and you've sought answers. I pray they're here, with my last gift to you both. Jack sagged. Even dead, Sophia saved him. I know your guilt, sister blaming yourself for not being here. But I chose solitude, too proud for weakness. I sent you away to spare your life for mine. She paused, eyes misting. But know this about Jack. He loved me fiercely, would have suffered anything to ease my pain. Jack's throat tightened. He blames himself for not being on that road. Truth, I beg him stay. I knew Omaha meant bad news. Wanted one last normal morning him fixing fences, humming badly. Not as my widower. She knew. Jack whispered, stunned. All along. Emma continued. Blame elsewhere. Jack's sin? Loving too much. And you two share our family's stubborn pride. My final wish. Emma, you sought justice but found Maury a man who gets lost. Jack, a woman strong enough to love without replacing me. Silence wrapped them. I bless you both not because I'm gone, but love endures in hearts roomy for grief and joy. P.S. Jack, Grandma's rings here for the woman brave enough to heal a broken man. Emma gasped as Jack drew a pouch, gold band with emerald. Emma, he rasped, I'm no prize-scarred older haunted, but if you'll have me. Yes, she cut in. Yes, you idiot. Slipping on the ring, their kiss sealed it. The house felt lighter forgiveness blooming from ashes. And there at Issa's story of love rising from sorrow, hearts holding pain and promise. What do you think? Share in the comments. Was their romance justified or too taboo? Take a stand at Sophia's blessing, make it right. Or should they have walked away? Express your views. I'd love to hear.